Another nighttime video. It's your boy Sage reporting live. Just got back from the gym, got my pump in today. Topic for today, we're gonna talk about hierarchies and order and chaos, social hierarchies, the natural order of things of that nature. So the first one we're gonna go to is let's deal with social hierarchies, because I said that I would do a video on how to dismantle them and not get engaged with them, because no matter where you go, you're always going to be dealing with some type of hierarchies. And while hierarchies are needed, some organizations and groups of people, they kind of use it to play power games and whatnot. It's the reason why people are so cliquey and people are so hard to connect with, because they're all trying to be the top, or they're trying to be a big fish in a little pond. So social hierarchies, you'll see them in the workplace. You'll even see them as in low levels, such as the playground when kids are in grade school and whatnot. And pretty much what it is just like, oh, who's the top dog, who has the power, and who is the coolest or whatever. And believe it or not, it really doesn't leave grade school. Like I always say that we never really left kindergarten in terms of like the way human beings interact with each other. Only difference is that some humans evolve past the childish games, but a lot of them still have a grade school, high school mentality in the way they move through the world. And it's really sad, and it's really honestly just disappointing, because that type of lifestyle or way of living, it is the worst thing to do. Because I'm not gonna sit here and act like I was always above it. I also played a part in it. I experienced it. I rose to the top of certain social hierarchies, but people gotta understand that getting to the top is a perilous journey, and it's like trying to maintain that position is just it's unhealthy, and it's not possible. It's too much maintenance and too much, trying to make yourself look like you don't have any, like you're a perfect human, like yet nothing ever faults you and whatnot. Everyone has their bad days, and trying to measure yourself up by the way people perceive you is unhealthy, and it's not sustainable. So like it's just tough, because people are going to test you. All it does is put a target on your back if you even decide to play the game. So the way to win, or the way to deal with the social hierarchy, is to not participate at all. So for example, let's say in grade school, I remember when I was in high school, the people with the most influence, or the people who had the most social power, were the athletes, and the people who had the most power. And this is like even a human thing, like in the grander scheme of things, is the person that's the funniest has the most power. And that goes back to like the court jester, and like back in the old days when the highest position in the kingdom wasn't the king, it was the jester, because he had the power to say things to the king that no one else could, under the guise of it being funny. And that's how it is too. So if you're funny, you also have some social power, because if people ever try to make fun of you or clap back at you, you could always come back with a joke of your own that'll put them in their place. And I always say that while it is good to be able to defend yourself physically, if you know how to have social jujitsu, is what I call it, or not social, verbal jujitsu, then you're also in a good place, because your words can settle disputes a lot more efficiently and more safely than your fists ever could. So if you can get a black belt in verbal jujitsu, you'll be able to move through life easier. So those are the people who had the power. So the best way to deal with social hierarchies is to just not entertain them at all. don't get into it at all. In the workplace, if you see that there's a certain clique and people are the cool kids, don't engage in it. And that's not to say, oh, be like a standoffish, like, oh, I don't fuck with you type of person. Even that might be the case, you have to like just play your role, but don't be too involved. Like kind of be an outsider looking in. But then to be able to do that, you have to have a certain power within yourself and a certain belief in yourself that you're okay without the approval of a group. And you have to have that, because if you're not, then being outcasted from the group will be too painful and you feel like you're missing out. You're not missing out. Like I said in my previous video, moving around a lot, always being the new kid, you know, this part of that skill set that it gives you is the fact that you learn how to be by yourself. And honestly, whenever I do have kids, if I ever have them, I want them, but who knows, right? The one thing I'll make sure that they're able to do is to be independent, to be able to live life without friends. Because when you become an adult, right, a lot of life is going through things alone. You're going to go through a lot of storms alone. And it's nice to have friends, but your friends will also be going through their own stuff, especially as a man. As a woman, you have more community because girls are girls and they talk and this and that. But as a man, the one thing you need to have is to be able to be by yourself. It's so important, because if you're always relying on people for your mood or to make you happy, you won't make it, man. It's too rough out here. Life is too unpredictable. It's too unforgiving. So I guess the method I would use to learn to be by yourself is think back to when you were a kid and do the things that made you the most happy. Because when we grow up as adults, we kind of lose track of what made us happy because we're kind of caught up in adulthood and responsibilities, right? For me personally, I loved playing basketball. I would have gone pro if things didn't. Everyone always says that. But I think I could have gone pro. I think I could have rode the bench on a team or something, you know? My jump shot's pretty sweet, you know? But I was gonna say, I played ball. So incorporating basketball into the gym and working out, that's one part of it, right? So then whenever I'm alone, or if I'm going through a phase where I'm not around a lot of people or life is just difficult, I can always fall back to doing that, right? So, and I don't mean just going out and playing. I actually am trying to perfect my craft. Even though I'm not going pro, it's just something within me, and it's something that shows me progression. And when your cards are down, and when the chips are down, to be able to fall back on something where you can see a general improvement over time, it'll do wonders for your mental health. So I'll go out and just practice stuff with my left hand, try to get my left hand game right, or I'll try to add another piece to my game, you know. I always joke and say, as a retired basketball player, I always want to be in good enough shape to drop 30 at any time. I want to be able to drop 30 on anybody at any time, at any age, no matter what. And that's like the standard I hold myself to. And so, so that's one part of it. And then on top of that, going to the gym, working out, you know, it all adds up. So that's one portion. The next thing that I did when I was a kid that made me happy was playing video games. I loved video games. Video games are a great way to get your mind off of certain things. You know, find the game that suits you, because there's a lot of games out there. Find a game that suits you. You can get lost in these games nowadays. Even back when I was younger, there were great games you could get lost in, but that's another thing. It's another way to take your mind off of your issues and your problems. Go get lost in a video game. A lot of people can't stand to be by themselves because they don't have these things to fall back on. All they have is people and alcohol and drugs, and those things are fun, but everything in moderation. Even water will kill you if you drink enough of it, right? So yes, that's another portion of it, video games. And the next one, I make music. I do music. That's another thing I can fall back on. So when the chips are down, I've no one around me, and then it's even a good outlet to get your feelings out. You know, you write down the verses of how you're feeling, or maybe you are going through a certain portion of life where you're around a bunch of, I don't know, like for example, when I was bartending about 2 years ago, and I was doing a lot of weddings, and they were always playing Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars, and I was like, this song is fire. And so I was like, I'm gonna try to make a song like this, and I got inspiration from that. That's another thing. So that's 3 things now. So I know that whenever I'm alone, I got 3 things I can fall back on to be like, all right, let me go focus on this to see some progression, and that's great for your mental health. And this all ties back into dealing with social hierarchies. Having these things to fall back on, it gives you a certain confidence, because you know that I don't need these people to make me feel good things about myself. I can go put my attention on these things, and I can see progression in them, and that's where I get my self-worth from, And that's how you deal with social hierarchies, man. You gotta have your own life. You gotta have your own internal strength, and it'll all just work out from then. Like I said, learning how to be alone is priority. It is so important in this world, and no one can take that from you. And then obviously people will test you because they see that you're not trying to play the game, the social game. And like I said in the previous video, let it roll off your back like water, man. It'll piss them off even more. And believe it or not, they won't know where to put you, because the social hierarchy is made to put people in boxes, and people determine how they're going to treat you based on your level in the hierarchy. And by not playing the game, you put yourself outside of the game. And not to call yourself God, because you're not God, but it's kind of like the way, there's kings, there's presidents, there's prime ministers, but then God isn't in the hierarchy. He's just somewhere away from it, right? But he's still looked at as the highest, because he's not in the game. He's above the game, looking down and just watching. That's the position that you want to be in. You want to be outside looking in with your own internal strength, right? So that's social hierarchies, how to deal with it. Now the other topic is order and chaos, the natural order of things, right? Order and chaos. Men and women are a duality, right? It's yin and yang. Men are order, women are chaos, right? And as a man, you have to learn or understand that women are chaos, right? And this ties into the hierarchies, because the natural order of things, the natural hierarchy of nature is God, man, woman, and children, right? So with that being said, as a man, like I said in the previous videos, you have to treat women like they're little kids. And that's not to say that they're stupid or dumb, but you have been given authority over them. No, not authority. You are responsible for them. That's a better word. You are responsible for them. So look at every woman like you're responsible for their well-being, even the ones you dislike, right? You have to put yourself in a place where you're above them, but not in an arrogant way, but in a I'm looking out for you type of way. Like I'm your safety net, because that's the natural order of things. So you don't go to women unless it's your mom, but even then it's better to speak to your dad about these things if your dad is present. If your dad isn't present, go speak with a male figure in your life that can help you out with certain situations. But when you have problems, you don't go crying to women. You don't tell your girlfriend about your problems. You might maybe mention them in passing very briefly, but don't expound on them. They aren't meant to hold that weight. It would be like if a woman had problems and went to tell her kid about it and told her child about it. It's not meant for the kid to hold that weight. And the natural order of things is God, man, woman, children. So you tell your problems to an older man, or you tell your problems to God. You go pray to God. That's how it works. And that's how you can better deal with women and navigate all female relationships. You are their steward. You're there to look out for them. You're there to provide guidance and protection. And I'm not saying that you have to go out of your way to do these things for women that you don't know, but the women that you do know, that's what you're supposed to do for them. But like I said, like, don't, like, I'm not saying to go out and be the knight in shining armor for every woman, but just knowing that that's your role internally, it'll help you navigate through certain situations a lot better, you know. So yeah, and women, you know, women are next below, and then children come, and that's how the natural order of things are. So as a man, your nature is to bring order, and you're supposed to remain stable. You're supposed to be a rock, you know. Not saying that you shouldn't have feelings and express them, but just, you know, to temper yourself, and just having that in the back of your mind. Yeah, I think that's a solid video. Is there anything else I wanted to cover? I think I'm forgetting something. Natural order things, order and chaos, social hierarchies. Yeah, that's it. All right, nighttime video part 2. Deuces. Your boy Sage is out.